Time now for French Connections, our weekly look at the intricacies of life here in France. Well, on July 15th, 2018, the country erupted with joy as Les Bleus beat Croatia in the World Cup final in Russia. It's a big deal for any country to win the World Cup, but it felt particularly special here in France, given what the country has gone through in the past couple of years. Well, I'm joined in studio now by Florence Philomena.
That's right, Sharon. There was really an explosion of joy across France when that final whistle was blown. People poured into the streets to celebrate together. It was kind of as if the whole country was a massive fan zone. And this kind of national euphoria hadn't been seen in a really long time, because remember, the last couple of years have been particularly tragic here in France, ever since the 2015 terrorist attacks, and there have been similar incidents in 2016, 17, 18. And so it seems like in recent years, the only reason why people had come together around the French flag was to mourn. And yet here, finally, there was a reason to celebrate, and celebrate Les Bleus, but celebrate France as well. It was a moment that people were craving. It was as if a bottle of champagne finally exploded, and it was indeed cathartic. Take a listen.
There's a great atmosphere. Everyone has come together. We're all having a party, and I think it's something we need, especially at the moment, given what has happened in France. It shows that if we come together at a given moment, it works well. Come on, France!
Allez la France!
And Flo, it really did feel like a once-in-a-lifetime moment, like something that people will be able to look back on for decades to come, to say, I remember where I was the day that France won the World Cup for the second time.
For the second time, and I remember where they were when they won the World Cup for the first time in 1998. And a lot of people have been comparing the two victories, because just like in 1998, Les Bleus were treated to a hero's welcome. Here on the Champs-Élysées, where hundreds of thousands of adoring fans came out to see the champions here. It was an epic parade that was followed by a very festive reception at the Élysée Palace with the president, Emmanuel Macron. The mood was electric, it was joyous, musical, and honestly, it gives me chills to see it again. Take a look.
Well, I don't quite remember it, but lots of people are talking about the scenes of celebrations being similar to what we had back in 1998. There was also similar background music, and one song in particular.
That's right. We just heard We Are the Champions, but actually the song that was played all throughout the evening was actually I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor, which is kind of a weird choice, you might think. But basically, this is a song that came out in 1978. And when Les Bleus won the first World Cup in 1998, well, their first win in 1998, it made a huge comeback in France. And so a lot of people associate the song I Will Survive with Les Bleus and with winning the World Cup. And it was blasted throughout the evening when France won the World Cup for the second time, including at Le Carillon, one of the bars that was attacked during the November 2015 attack. So they sang, I will survive. And to me, that really symbolizes what this World Cup victory means. It's essentially life making a comeback after terrible times. And take a look at a video that was filmed at Le Carillon by our RFI colleague, Anne Souhaitemont.
And Flo, many people have credited the coach Didier Deschamps with turning things around for the French team. And Les Bleus, they had somewhat fallen out with fans since their Euro Cup win back in 2000. And even in some of the earlier games in the competition, we saw that they were getting, some booing in the stadium from the French fans who travelled to Russia.
Indeed, because for a few years there was actually quite a lot of drama within Les Bleus. It kind of started with the 2006 World Cup final, actually, and Zinedine Zidane's infamous now headbutt and red card. And then there was a strike at the 2010 World Cup in South Africa. And on top of that, the team wasn't playing very well. So in a way, Les Bleus was a team that French people kind of loved to hate. But all that changed when Didier Deschamps took over the team in 2012. And he, remember, was the captain of the winning team in 1998. And he put in place the same winning formula, essentially talent, harmony, and teamwork instead of big egos. And thanks to him, a new generation of players, so Antoine Griezmann, Paul Pogba, Kylian Mbappé, they became a new generation of heroes as well.
And a lot of people are also drawing a parallel, aren't they, with the team from 1998 in terms of its multi-ethnic diversity. Is this as simple, do you think, of modern-day France, of how things are changing?
Well, it is a debate that comes up, especially every time France or Les Bleus win a major tournament. And some people say, look, we should just get over it. Yes, the French team is diverse. And it's true that if you look at the French team, 2/3 of them are from an immigrant background. Kylian Mbappé, for instance, his father is from Cameroon and his mother is from Algeria, but he's French. What a lot of people say that the World Cup win was actually a win for Africa. This is something that you even heard comedians saying in the US. Here in France, it was actually used by the right wing. Now, a lot of people say that the diversity of Les Bleus is a mirror of French society. It's a mirror of the diversity of French society and proof that diversity is a strength. But the question is, will this celebration of diversity and national unity last after the World Cup fever dies down? Many people hope it will.
We've really felt French for the past 3 days, and we'd like it to remain that way. We are proud of France and of our guys from the banlieue. Golo Kante, Tolisso, thank you. We're so proud.
So les banlieues that was just mentioned are working class suburbs that basically ring around big cities in France, and we'll have to explore them in another episode of French Connections. But it's the hometown of many of the players on Les Bleus, Kylian Mbappé, Paul Pogba. Now, what's interesting is after the 1998 victory, a lot of people celebrated this very diverse France and said, yes, French society was integrated. They talked about la France bleue, black, blanc, beurre, not bleu, blanc, rouge, black, blanc, beurre, so black, white, and beurre, which is a term used for people whose families come from North Africa. And they said, look, social integration had worked. But 20 years later, a lot of people said that slogan wasn't so true. It was more of a myth. There's still a lot to be done for social integration, especially in les banlieues. But what's interesting is this World Cup win comes at a time when there is this major identity crisis going on in France. What does it mean to be French? And all this was intensified with the 2015 terrorist attacks and in the wake of that. And Les Bleus kind of managed to put a pause on that and to bring people together in celebration of what it means to be French in all its diversity. So, merci les Bleus.
Well, that's all we have time for. If you have any questions about France you'd like us to explore in French Connections, tweet Flo at Flo Philomena and check out our website, france24.com.